Hello, welcome back to my channel, Antoinette here. This is a tag hashtag Halloween party decks from the lovely Hexa at Tarot and Witchery on YouTube. And this is a 12 prompt party tag, and it's about the decks that you would choose to match these prompts. So, but it's 13 decks, so the magic number 13 is in there. So let's go without too much further ado. Prompt number 1. Let's make it a bit bigger so I can see what we're doing here. Haven't got my glasses. Okay. Prompt number 1, the perfect host. So this is the deck that sets everything up perfectly for you in a reading. So I'm going with the Haunted House Tarot by Sasha Graham and artwork by Marco Pierferici. Is that how you pronounce it? It's a low Scarabeo deck. And I don't think you could really get too much more. I shouldn't have to explain really. I think the picturesque element of this deck tells you why it would be the perfect party host. It sets everything up. The scenes are all there for you. There's plenty to see and do within each image. And for that reason, I feel that this would be my perfect party host. It's a nice, easy, straight to the point kind of reader. And it has that element of horror to it. So for Halloween, it's perfect setup. Oh, my least favourite card in the deck, gigantic human-eating crabs. So there, okay. Prompt number 2, Party Decor, the deck that is all about the aesthetic of Halloween for you. So I thought we'd go with the Macabre Tarot because it comes in this fantastic box that used to make a squeaky noise, now it chirps. Oh no, maybe it's gone completely. My battery's completely dead. So it just makes a squeaky noise on opening. So I thought there's the aesthetic, and also the deck itself is very aesthetic for the time of year and the season, I think. So I thought that this one is going to be my decor, party decor. It's just got everything that you need. Yeah, look at that. Some great images. You could even use these to inspire what you want for your own party at home, I think. You know, easily wrap a snake around a hand, pop some skulls out with some roses. I mean, how about that for a Halloween costume? Some skulls and potions. Crystals are great accessory, and eyes. You can't beat an eye, can you? A couple Halloweens ago we had it on a full moon. So yeah, so this is my spooky in the dark. This is my party decor deck. Plenty of elements to play with. I could do a cocktail right now. So that is the Macabre Tarot, which is by Rockpool Publishing. Okay, prompt number 3, Comfort Food, the deck that always satisfies, leaving you feeling good. And I've gone with the Seasons of the Witch Mabon Oracle for this one, because I feel like it's got that homely, warm, comforty vibe to it. With the orange gilding and the orange backs. Were you expecting that one from me? So we have a perfect card to start out on, the Witch's Gathering. It has all the colours and vibes of autumn, I think, the season, without it being too spooky. It has the cards necessary to get the point across. Some wine, some fallen leaves. So I think this one with the chocolate and the tobacco and the ancestral type of feelings. Fire cider. I've never tried fire cider. I need to try this. So this one is my comfort food deck. Just has that kind of cozy feels and vibes to it. Yeah. Okay, prompt 4, bobbing for apples, the deck that is hit or miss. Sometimes it's right on and other times I'm just left empty-handed. Giselle, if you're watching, you should be able to guess this deck before I even put it out. But this is the Terra Volatile, the deck that's on the naughty shelf because it doesn't talk to me nicely. Not because it doesn't have what I want to hear, it just is not very communicative with me. So that's why it's this beautiful deck that got to this prompt. I love this deck. I'm desperate to work with it, but it's not ready to work with me. Well, it sort of is, but it doesn't like me working with other decks. That's more the problem that I found with this. When I worked with it exclusively, it seemed to be okay. But once I was using it and using other decks, it sort of stopped reading. Really weird. Cannot explain that for, love nor money, but that's what happened for me. So that's why this is my bobbing for apples deck. Even to this day, well, I'm saying to this day, the last 2 or 3 months I probably haven't attempted to read it. But that's why it's this one. So I do need to pull it and try again, see if it's ready to share, but it's a deck that doesn't seem to want to. So it's my bobbing for apples. Right, prompt number 5, the Werewolf Costume, the deck that brings transformation. I'll be very honest, I didn't know what on earth to pull out for this question because the pointer decks for me are for transformation. However, I've put down the Unfinished Business by MJ Cullinan. So this is her indie decks, direct from her website. And the reason why I put this one out is because of the theme of the deck, really, for transformation. The main theme of this deck is people who are moving on, or souls that are trapped that need to release whatever their last message is in order to move on. So I've taken that word transformation sort of literally in that aspect for this. And it is a beautiful deck. I haven't read the guidebook. I'm not particularly interested in the stories of the guidebook to read the cards, but as the guidebook stands for standalone stories, I might read it one day, who knows. But yeah, so what a card to end on. So that is my transformation deck. Unfinished Business by MJ Cullinan. Next, prompt 6, Vampire Costume, the deck that you can only do a few cards, lest you feel drained. Again, not sure, but I pulled out the Dark Angels Tarot. It's another Low Scarabeo deck, which I thoroughly enjoy, Low Scarabeo decks. These are the backs, the standard cardstock, and it's a very Gothic inspired deck. So I've decided to put this one down as my potential to drain you. Because I think if you sort of, well, it depends. Sometimes the cards are telling things that I'm not quite seeing, and it takes me a while to look into them, I guess. So I don't think I'd ever pop this out for like a 10-card spread. I don't think I ever have. 3 cards would probably be my maximum for this deck. But it is a beautiful Gothic deck. I think because I have this one, that's why I've never been taken with the Gothic Tarot, is it? And then the Baba Studios Gothic, whatever it's called, with, I don't know, yeah, you know the ones I mean, the kind of really bluey ones. So I think that's the reason why I've never felt the need for those, because this sort of does it for a lot cheaper. Shh, don't tell anyone. But yeah, so I do quite enjoy this one. So this is the Dark Angels Tarot by Lo Scarabeo, and I didn't say the artist, Luca Russo. Okay, prompt number 7, the Ghostly Apparition, the deck that disappears and shows up unexpectedly. It says in my collection, however, I'm going to say in my reading. Is that all right? 1 second. Yes, that's completely right. It's because I had put my decks out in different order. And this one is the Tarot of Prague. I can't believe something that costs so much money hides itself so well in plain sight. It comes in this homemade wooden box. It's not like, this isn't a small deck. This isn't like a low Scarabeo deck. So it's quite a chunky deck to be going for a walk. And it took me probably 20 minutes to find it on my shelf to pull for this tag, backs, sides. So this is the one recently done. So this is with the, do they call it cold foil? There you go, cold foil stamping. So just, they sort of come alive, like the flames and things light up. Of course, on camera, it's not going to do what you want it to do ever, is it? But let's see if that one does it. Yeah, there you go. So this is the one. But I do not use this often at all. I've probably used it 3 times since I've had it because it's just such a beautifully done deck, but I don't want to destroy it in any way, shape or form. Maybe that's why it hides itself. And I wanted it simply because I've been to Prague, recognised some of the kind of imagery, but might like to go back one day, and I think it might be fun to take this with me and use it as my travel guide around Prague and the various areas. Did somebody say something about skeleton graveyard or something like that in Prague? A lot of this is from. So there's the, can't remember for love and money now, but it's the main square where they hold the Christmas markets. And there's a, I think it's solid gold effigy of the Mother Mary in the background there, but St. Michael's Square, is it? It's next to the bridge, you know, my favourite one. It's been probably 10 years since I was there, so I think I'm allowed to be useless at renaming everything. But yeah, I like this one. But it's amazing how it disappears from the shelf when I'm looking for it to use. Maybe it doesn't want to be used. Okay, so prompt number 8, the zombie costume, the deck in tatters. Don't really have a deck in tatters, but I've chosen 2 that have been popular throughout. So I've gone for Millie and the Halloween Tarot and Tin from US Games. US Games, please keep doing them like this. I don't like the ones in boxes that you're doing at the moment. They're too small. I thought these 2, because this one goes around with me. This one actually travels. So this is my travel deck for any time of the year. I just really like it. I don't know why. It's the one that I choose to feel comfortable with when I do go away, but it is. I don't normally take much else when I take this one. But just for this, I've taken this one because this is an old deck as well, which pulls itself out for revival randomly. It's kind of like the ghostly apparition deck as well. I'll be not planning on using it for the month, and then suddenly it'll appear in my monthly reads. So I thought these 2, very opposite in style, of course, as well. There's a Lenormand coming out based on the Trionfi della Luna decks. Trionfi della Lenormand. Did I pronounce that right, or did I say too many lels? So that's my prompt number 8. The zombie costume. Okay, prompt number 9, the Witchy costume, my favourite witchy deck. This is Seasons of the Witch, Samhain Oracle. This has and remains probably one of my top decks. And I only have 3 from the collection. The rest I didn't need, and the other ones I had I gave away because they weren't worth keeping, to be quite honest. So it's the red packs with the red gilding. This is the first one that they ever put out, and I love the witchiness of this deck. That's it. This is the one that has all the feels and vibes to me. It's got like ghostly faces, sort of weird ethereal things going on. The book is amazing. It's got little like spells and rituals and stuff inside if you want to do something to go with. It talks directly to, you know, all things classically witchy and spooky. Refers to the third harvest, and I like to work. This one sat next to the Mabon, work really well together. And we have the underworld. So yeah, this one is my most witchy deck. I mean, I do have the White Witch's Tarot and the Everyday Witch Tarot, two excellent tarot decks, but this is my most used and probably most witchified, witchy feels deck that I have. So I thought, why not? There's a frog in both decks, probably slightly different meanings. But yep. Did I say already? I watched that film, Tarot, last night. Not really anything to do with tarot whatsoever, just a good kind of blood, gore, guts, typically classic type horror film. Worth a watch if you find yourself bored and stuck. So yeah, that's my witchy costume. Okay, a deck to cut you to the core. Which is the Blood and Guts prompt number 10. So use at your own peril. So this is the Abandoned Oracle from Patrick Valenza. This one is a fairly straightforward oracle. It doesn't mince its words. There's some cool backs. And the pictures are quite gruesome that go with the words. So I think if you need to know if you need to put yourself back together, pick yourself up if you're in pieces. I think this deck does it in a, although there's the amusement way, it also does it in that way that kind of just, you know, no nonsense here. So for a Halloween aspect as well, keeping that spooky theme vibe going, I thought this one, Stop Feeding the Vampires. Grandmother, oh, spooky. So yeah. So I thought we could have this one for my Blood and Guts prompt 10 deck. Okay, prompt number 11. Couples in Costume, the perfect pair of decks for the season. Two that I've paired before. So the Tarot Vampires with the Tarot of the Vampires, Charles Harrington, Ian Daniels, illustrated this one by Craig Mayer. So these two, believe it or not, pair very well together. These are the backs. And these are the cards. And Les Vampires from artwork by Yasmin Beckett Griffiths. Deck by fill in the blank here down below. It goes really well with these two. In fact, last year in one of my seasonal Bewitched prompts, I think I paired 4 decks together, and I was reading like that with them last year. They went so well together. I think it might have been like Lonely Soul's Journey, Lost Soul's Journey, Les Vampires, Tarot Vampires, and Les Vampires Oracle, all together. So look at these. This is like the colour version of a black and white film almost, isn't it? It's got your lovers with strength. I think these two go quite well together. Definitely a more modern take on perhaps what we're used to seeing in films today. Sun with 3 of Wands. That's a great High Priestess. And here's the lovers in this deck, very different to the one that we've just seen. So yeah, that is my couples in costumes. And the final prompt, prompt number 12, no costume, the no frills deck. Someone always refuses to dress up, but we love them anyway. So keeping in theme with the fact that I pulled out the seasonal decks for the season, rather than perusing my shelves in general, I have gone with the Baroque Tarot for this one. So because it's got that kind of dirty darkness to it. However, it's a standard deck, isn't it? This is by Lamucci. So it's a gorgeous kind of standard deck. but it has a bit like the Tower of Prague. It has that kind of like darker theme to it, very maybe autumnal. The yellows are dirtier than bright, so that's what makes me feel more autumn than summer. And it just has like a nice darker, moody feels to each card, which is why I thought this one would be perfect for the not dressed up, come as you are deck. So High Priestess. Do love this deck. I think I've said before that it goes really nicely with the Stretch Tarot, which is another. So there's a couple of kind of decks with this vibe to them that I picked up in the last 12 months. I need to stop picking them up because I'm clearly repeating myself when I'm buying them. But it's evidently a vibe that I'm seeing. I did look at my shelves and there's a few decks there that I probably could get rid of now. So we shall see. So this one is my No Costume, No Frills deck, prompt number 12. What would you pick and why? I'd love to hear you play along. Even if you've not got a channel, write down below, join in with me, pop it down below. Of course, don't forget, I will put Tarot and Witchery's channel linked below for the original video, so you can follow along there and have some fun, give her some support. And I look forward to hearing and seeing what you guys pick for these. As always, thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.